Happy Whip Wednesday. I've only been working on one project this week, so I can do a little bit of a deep dive on the Wilbur sweater, which is a free pattern from Sandnes garn that you can download on Ravelry. It's an all over cable knit, as you can see, top down, and it has a raglan fit. One interesting thing about this sweater is that every single size starts off with the exact same number of stitches, and then you are just increasing out until you get to the stitches that you need for your size. That does kind of make me question the grading, especially on the larger end of the scale, because there is a photo of a model wearing a size that I think is one of the largest sizes because the yoke is very, very deep and it kind of gives like that poncho look. On the other hand, maybe if it was worn by somebody who is that size, it would not look as deep because their like shoulders and bust would fill up more of the sweater. I am making a size large and I am happy with the yoke depth on me. You are casting on with the same number of stitches for every single size. However, for the neckline, depending on your size, you are picking up a different amount of stitches. And I was looking at people's project notes on Ravelry, and quite a few people said the neckline was too tight. So I ultimately ended up picking up a lot more stitches as well. As far as like the way that the pattern is written, I will admit that it was a little bit confusing at first because it tells you to knit from the chart, but then it doesn't tell you which chart. There's like 3 charts included in the pattern. I ultimately figured out you just knit the charts in order of appearance. This is one of those patterns that when I read ahead, I didn't really understand the whole chart business, but I just trusted the process and I knit and I figured it out as I went. The pattern does have 2 versions that I know of, or I think there might be multiple because there might be a men's version as well. The one that is free on Ravelry is for their tweed collection, the tweed yarn, and I was gifted this yarn, which is Sandnes Garn Atlas from Mother Knitter, and along with the yarn they also gifted me the Atlas version of the pattern. As far as I can tell, the patterns are exactly the same. Only major difference is which row you are doing this large cable on. In the free version, the cable is offset from every other cable in the sweater, which I found to be kind of annoying, and I made a mistake. I basically downloaded both versions of the pattern and I wasn't consistent with which I was following, and I had to rip back and fix a lot of cables, which was very annoying. I will say that if you are using the free version, I would modify it so that you are cabling across the same rows all the way across, because yeah, the free version, I don't really understand why. At first you are offset by 2 rows, I believe, with the big cable, and then it just throws you off for the whole sweater, and I think it makes things more complicated than it needs to be. The Atlas version is the newer version, and that's such an easy modification you can make for yourself. Just cable the big cables on the same row as you do every other cable.